Hello, welcome to Revoke TV. Thank you for stopping by my channel to watch my videos. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that whenever I drop new videos, you'll be here to watch them. Okay? And if you've been coming to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe so that you're not going to miss any of my videos. Today I'm going to talk about the things that you need to prepare and bring to your green card lottery interview. The last video that I made, I talked about, the green card lottery interview. So today I'm just going to focus on the things that you need to bring to the green card lottery interview. Know that the things that I'm going to talk about here are not comprehensive. There might be other things that you should bring to the interview depending on your case. Okay? So, but these are the common things that are required for a green card lottery interview. All right? And then the other thing too would be, depending on your country, your local embassy might require certain things. So always check back on your country's embassy's website, U.S. Embassy, and then your country, and check their website to see if there is something that is unique to your country that you need to bring in addition to the things that I'm going to call out. For the green card lottery interview, and in no particular order, okay, you need to bring your passport pictures, like a new passport picture for you and all the people that are on your application. If it's just you, then you need a passport picture for yourself. You also need to bring your passport. It needs to have at least 6 months validation on your passport. So that means that your passport shouldn't be expiring in less than 6 months. Okay? So if your passport has less than 6 months of validation on it, then you need to go ahead and renew it. If you renew your passport, don't throw away the old one. You need to bring both of them to your interview. You can make a photocopy of your old one and then bring them to the interview. Okay? And the passport, you need to bring the passport for all the people who are on your application. If you're going to the interview with them, then you need to bring they need to bring their passport too. They need to have, passport pictures also. The other thing, which is one of the most important things that you need to bring to your green card lottery interview, will be your educational certificates. All right. Part of the requirements to enter into the green card lottery was the minimum education requirement, which is to have completed high school or senior high school in some places, or secondary education. So 12-year completion of secondary education, successful completion of 12-year secondary education. So what that means that you should have completed your secondary education or senior high school education, and to be successful, you need at least a minimum of grade C, like a minimum of average grade C. So that means that, like, the minimum, the lowest, you should have made all C. Like, your average should be in C. This requirement is in place because that you need to have a grade that will make you eligible to apply to a university in the United States. And the minimum GPA that you can apply to a university in the United States is 2.0, which is a C average. Okay? So if there are some classes that you didn't do well, you didn't pass, go ahead and retake them, because in some countries there are some remedial exams that you can take. If you didn't pass on your say your regional or national exam and you retake it, then you can bring the exam that you retook. You bring that paper with your original exams certificate that that show that you didn't do well. I hope I was able to explain myself. So bring both of them. If you've taken some classes or some subjects that you didn't do well, then you need to bring your remedial exam report or certificate with your the one that you originally took that wasn't right. And then you have to get your school certificate. Get that from your school. Okay, get that from your school to show that you actually completed the school, because the exam part will determine that you were able to meet the minimum, requirement, that you were able to, successfully test on everything that you were taught in high school. But the school certificate will also say that you were able to finish the 12-year education requirement, because I know that in some countries or in some places, some people are able to skip and take the final exams or take remedial exams and pass it and go straight to college without even having to fully complete the high school. So bring these two documents, your final exams, or if it's USCIS or whatever type of regional exam that is done in your country, bring that with the certificate of completion from your high school. All right. The next thing, and that requirement is for the principal applicant only. The principal applicant only. So all the people that are on your application, they don't need to meet this requirement, but the principal applicant needs to meet this requirement. Work experience. So there's some people who may not have the high school, the minimum education requirement, but they may have career or work experience that could meet this requirement. From what I have looked at, most of the jobs that are in there require you to have a bachelor's or a master's degree. So it's very difficult for you to meet that requirement. It's not impossible, but it's very, very difficult for you to meet that requirement if you didn't finish high school. There might be some rare cases where somebody has worked their way, they didn't go to high school, but they've been able to work their way up to a certain level that is equivalent to somebody who would have had a bachelor's degree or would have had a master's degree to do that kind of job. Like people who are like really talented, like geniuses. But like I said, it's very, very difficult for you to, meet this requirement if you didn't complete senior high school or secondary education. Okay. But but regardless, you need to bring a CV that will list your job, where you've worked at in the past 5 years. Okay, at least where you've worked at in the past 5 years. Because on your DS-260 application, you had to put in where you work at. Okay, so whatever you put on there, you need to bring a CV that shows this, because so that when you're asked what you work at, what do you do? Why did you leave this work? What happened there? Who was your supervisor? You can answer those questions, because if you have put that on your CV, you can, answer these questions by looking on there. You don't have to memorize it. You can have your CV and then tell them, like, I work at this place and this is my CV. Okay? And that is for the principal applicant. Like I said, the other people who are on your application, they don't need to meet these requirements. All right. The next thing that you need to have will be your marriage certificate. If you are married, then you need to bring your marriage certificate. You bring your marriage certificate, and then with photocopies of your marriage certificate. And on the State Department website, it says 1 copy, but I would suggest 2 copies of every original document that you will bring into your interview. All right. And then you need police certificate. So the police certificate, you need to make photocopies of that. I've made a video about how to get your police certificate from Ghana, but that is not unique to Ghana. The instructions that I gave will be the same. On the State Department website, it tells you, how I've made a video about how to get your police certificate, so you can watch that and see what you need to do to get your police certificate. So I don't want to go into details on how to get it, but get your police certificate and then make photocopies of that document, because and whatever you send to the KCC, it might your embassy might require a police certificate that is less than 6 months. That is no older than 6 months. So if the one that you submitted to KCC is over 6 months, you will have to get a new one. Okay, so you have to bring that too. The next thing that you need to bring, if it applies to you, will be in your marriage termination. That is divorce. If you are divorced, then you need to bring your divorce decree. It's either you have the original copy or a certified copy, and then you make photocopies of that document too. If you, and then your children, okay, your children, you need to bring their birth certificates. Remember, you need this birth certificate of, all the people on the application. So you and your spouse, and then the children on the application. So their birth certificate, you need their passport of everybody on that application too, on the lottery application. The next thing, and then you need passport pictures of everybody on the application also. All right. The next thing that, if it applies to you, you need to bring will be adoption, documents. If you have adopted a child, whether the child is your stepchild and you have adopted the child as your own, then you need to have legal documents that says that this child is now yours. The child is your legal responsibility. You need to do that legally, whether somebody agreed within your family to let you adopt their child or no. You need to get a legal document. This is in place to prevent people kidnapping other people's children. Like if you're a parent, you need the consent of the other parent to take the child away from outside the country. So the U.S. government is not going to doesn't want you to feel like you are the parent. One of the parents can just take the child outside the country without the other parent agreeing for that to happen, or for people taking other people's children to the United States. So you need to have a legal document that gives you the right to take this child from outside of Ghana. All right. So that will be most of the things that you need. And then one last thing too, you need your medical exams. So you need to do medical exams for all of your family members on the application. So remember, the police certificate you do for all the family members, but on the State Department, but on the State Department website, you need to do the police certificate of all the people on the applicant, all the people on the application. But when it comes to police certificate, depending on the age of the child, if the child is, I think, 2 years old, if this is not correct, I'll put the correct information below. I'll put a link below for you to go and look at the police certificate requirements. And then I'll also reference the video that I made last time talking about how to collect the police certificate, so you know how young your child has to be for them not to need the police certificate. But you need to do the police certificate for all the people on the application. Okay. So those are most of the things that you need to bring for your green card lottery interview. But one other thing that I would say is that if you're self-employed and stuff, you need to bring evidence that will show that you are the owner of that business. Okay, like your tax documents, something in your home country that shows that you are the business owner, you are a recognized self-employed business, something that you do to show that you are doing, you are self-employed. All right. If you are in any of the technical field, like say in a job that requires like hands-on, like the technical colleges, that stuff, they could ask you something about your job, like how do you do this? Okay, how do you do that? So be familiar with the terms and phrases in your field, so that when you go there and they ask you, you say you're a fashion designer, and then they ask you questions that has to do with, how do you do this? How do you sew this? What is this? Then you have no idea. So just learn some of the common terms, things that people in your industry are supposed to know. Okay, so even if you meet the high school requirement, they're going to ask you about your job, and everything that you put on your DS-260 application is fair play. They can ask you anything on that application. Like they ask you, on there you have to put like your parents' their information, they can ask you that. They took your social media handle information, they can ask you that. Don't, like, they do research, they definitely do. There have been people who have gone for interview and they have been asked about certain things that were shared on their social media platform. So be aware of all of these things and don't be careless in what you post on social media. All right. Okay. So this is all that I wanted to talk about. Remember, I said this is not comprehensive. So there might be things that you need to bring because of how unique your situation might be. But this is just the general stuff that you need to bring to your green card lottery interview. All right. So I will end this video here. I don't want to make it too long. Please follow me on Facebook, my official Facebook page, Revoke TV. I share most of the videos that I make here on that page. So if you're looking for a video that is hard to find, go there, you will find them. Subscribe and share. Comment with anything that you need me to work on. I may not know everything, okay? So I always appreciate feedbacks, comment, corrections. You can join my Facebook groups, okay? I have Moving to America /Revoke TV. If there anything about coming to America, you can join that group. Ask me questions. I post tips frequently for you to know, and then I share updates on the U.S. immigration policies on there. I'm also part of this group called Green Card Lottery Ghana. There, if you're from Ghana and you are interested in the Green Card Lottery, whether you've won or you're trying your luck so that you can win, please join that group and you can ask me anything that has to do with the Green Card Lottery applicable to Ghana applicants. Okay. You can also join Green Card Lottery Africa. That group is just for any African who is interested in the Green Card Lottery application. Whether you've won or you're still trying, and you don't have to be African. I know the group was for Africans, but I know there are other people who are from different parts of the world and they don't have like a group to join. You are welcome to join the group. We are respectful. We try to be respectful of anybody, whatever background that you're coming from. We just expect that you be respectful to other people there in that group too. You can also join Green Card Lottery USA in brackets Zambia. I am an admin in that group, and there too, there are a lot. That group has been around longer than the other ones that I mentioned. So there, you can get more information. The admins in that group are awesome. They provide wonderful feedback, wonderful updates on U.S. immigration policies. So you can join that group. There's no harm in joining multiple Green Card Lottery groups, because there might be something that may be posted in one group that may not be shared in the other group. So that's why I highly encourage you to join multiple groups so that you can get feedback. Okay, I have joined many groups so that I learned and get updates so that I can incorporate it into my videos also. All right, I love you guys for all the support that you've given me so far on this channel. Please continue to support me so that I can make more videos, I can do more research, I can learn, and then repackage the materials and share on my channel here. Just know that, and this is a disclaimer, I'm not an immigration lawyer. So if you need a legal advice on something that has to do with immigration, please talk to an immigration lawyer, because I cannot give you any legal advice. I can give you my opinion, but it's not a legal advice. Anything that I share on my platform, any of the Green Card Lottery or American immigration groups that I'm affiliated with, will be personal opinion, personal experiences, things that I've gone through, my friends, my family have gone through, and my interpretation of the U.S. immigration procedures as I know them to be. All right. So thank you guys for all the help, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.